I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Leonard Village Council. Welcome, everyone. I always like to kind of give a nice greeting or try and find something positive, or at least let people know what's going on, but this has been one heck of a weekend and today, with everything that's happened around the United States and Orlando, and twice in Orlando, and then we lost Eleanor Hamilton. Yes, was it last night, Judy? Last night. So just want to ask or remind everyone to remember this in their prayers. With that, will you still be able to do an invocation? Okay, so we'll stand for a Pledge of Allegiance and a brief invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you be at our council meeting this evening, and we ask for prayers for those families in grief and mourning in Orlando. We pray for healing for those who are in the hospital, and we thank you for the life of Eleanor and all that she has been in Leonard in her 90 plus years. In your precious name we pray, amen.
Thank you. Okay. With that, we'll have a roll call for attendance, please.
President McDonald?
Here.
Trustee Sotheby is here. Trustee Almoranti?
Here.
Trustee Hoffman?
Here.
Trustee Noaker?
He's excused. He did contact me. He's unable to attend.
And do you want to note?
Yes, that Treasurer Judy Verse is present and Clerk Cindy Grosskopf was excused.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, moving on to the minutes of the previous regular meeting. Are there any questions, changes, or corrections? If not, a motion to approve the minutes would be in order.
Motion to approve the minutes,
I'll support.
May 9th, 2016.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, council has before it an agenda. Are there any additions, questions? I would like to add one item. Number 2 under new business would be NOTA. And I guess I want, and also there's a resolution, so that would make number 3 for the Regional Transportation Authority request. Are there any questions on the motion to amend the agenda? If none, a motion to amend the agenda as submitted would be a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
Amended agenda.
Amended agenda.
Thank you, Paul.
I'll second it.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay. Council received the treasurer's report in your packet. Are there any questions, changes? If none, motion to receive and file the treasurer's report would be in order. I'll make that motion. Is there support?
I'll support it.
Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Almoranti?
Yes.
Mr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. President McDonald?
Yes.
And Sotheby, yes.
Did I miss something? Who's there?
Cindy?
Cindy Ashley.
Oh, okay. All right, Okay, so the report's approved. Moving on to accounts payable. The council has before it the payables for the month of May. Are there any questions, changes, corrections? If not, a motion to pay the bills will be in order.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills and the accounts of general fund, $6,215.69. Major fund, $3,827.64. The local fund, $159.50. Oh, and the park, mill and park recreation, $297.50.
I'll second it.
Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, I'll roll call please. Pay the bill.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
Trustee Noakers excused. President McDonald?
Yes.
Trustee Sotheby, yes. Trustee Allen?
Yes.
Very good. Judy, was that payment for the park, was that, what was that for? Was that the flowers?
That's for the paper.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. I'm trying to keep it straight.
Went to the stone place.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the,
I'm just trying to keep it straight. Okay. Okay, so at this time, it's an opportunity for the public to address the village council. Is anyone care to do so?
and you look right at
I love you, Cindy, come on. I mean, you know, I can gauge what kind of month I'm going to have.
Wow, let's just start then.
Oh, boy.
What have you heard about Margie's house?
I actually spoke to the attorney today. A ticket was issued prior to the last meeting. He had 30 days to respond. He has not responded. Phil Atkinson and I are going to talk Wednesday and decide the course of action, which I assume will be the issuance of a civil infraction, which means that he will have to go to district court.
So his time is up?
Well, no, he's still, yeah, his time is up as far as meeting the local regulations. He still has an open demolition permit, but that doesn't give him the authority or the right to, you know, make a mess and leave a mess.
Okay.
So we're not pursuing that at this time. Although I'm sure Phil will recommend that we.
When is that up? October?
I think it's September, October, yeah. Yeah, it was issued late last year.
I thought it was.
But if it's becomes us to have it revoked, we will do that if and when we get to, if we end up in court, for sure. So. Okay, anything else? Did we get the tree cleaned up all right? North of town? Out there?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, I was shocked. That was like instant. Well, no, because
Yeah, it was, I was
done
told,
like immediately.
I was told like by Thursday it was supposed to be done. But I didn't make it up there, so. Okay, that's good, that's great.
When's the horse thing?
It was canceled
This past weekend?
Past weekend.
So,
and it's been tentatively moved to September 17th, I believe.
wow.
Yeah, there was just no interest, there was interest, but nobody registered to do it, right.
Wish I had a horse.
But we did get some feedback that said if it was in September or later in the season, that more people would be attending, yeah. Okay, moving on to new business. Council knows in July we have our Strawberry Festival, so it would behoove us to authorize the closure of Elmwood Street and North Division for the day, which would be July 16th. From, what do we usually do, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., somewhere in there?
Well, division opens up at 5, after 5.
Okay.
And then this stays closed until about 11.
So we'll need a motion to authorize the closure of Elmwood Street from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. and North Division from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is late enough?
North Division.
What do we call it? It used to be School Street?
East Division?
What is it? East?
No, it's Division. It gets, and then it turns into something else, and then it goes, oh God. I think it stays Division now down to Dwayne's house.
As long as we know what we're talking about. Who cares about anybody else?
Or do we close in that road?
Well, because we...
Oh, for the...
Kitty for the...
We don't close the whole thing, we just close it to.
Yeah, just past Shars.
Right at the curb.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion to make that closure?
I'll make a motion to close Elmwood Street and Division at the times that you had set.
10 a.m. and 11 p.m.?
And Basil.
We're gonna close
Dust
Bays
is
at
terrible
They're gonna call.
already.
Okay, you told Don?
Do I get that option?
Yeah, yes you do. If Don knows that chloride's needed, he makes arrangements to do it.
I did not know that.
We
I did
talked
on that
about it.
last year.
We talked about it last week, that he thought it needed to be done.
Okay.
But he was waiting for it to rain so that he could grade the roads.
Yeah. They're not too bad. He's keeping up on, yeah, he's keeping up on the good.
They're not real bad as far as rough,
Yeah.
because I've been driving around.
I know, I see you.
Okay, so there was a motion by Colin Moraney, is there support?
I'll support it.
Larry Kaufman, any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to close Elmwood Street and Division Street as indicated, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay. Next item on the agenda under new business is the North Oakland Transportation Authority. As you may recall, about a year ago, we did pass a millage as a township to restart our membership with NODA. However, the village was not technically reinstated to the board. Now they want us to be on the board and have a representative, so I'm asking the council to authorize, because we all resigned, basically, that's where it was left. So if we want to have a member on the NODA board, we have to authorize someone. I'll do it if council likes.
I thought Doug was doing it.
Doug works for him now.
Oh.
So he can. I mean, he can be a substitute, but he shouldn't be the primary. So if there'd be a motion to authorize the village president to represent the village.
I'll make a
As a
motion.
member community of NODA.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that the village president can be on the NOTA board.
I'll second it.
Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to appoint the village president to represent the village as a member community on the NODA board, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion carries. Okay, the third item was, council will find, and the public may have read in the most recent leader, there's an attempt in Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne County to create a regional transportation authority with the millage of 1.2 mils for 20 years. It's to create a regional transportation system, which we all know where that'll be built. It won't be built in our area. So, the Township of Oxford and the Township of Addison have already gone on record, unofficially. They've drafted resolutions against the project, and they've asked that member communities of NODA and other communities also oppose the millage. Some of the arguments are in the leader article by C.J. Carnacchio, but essentially it's another millage. It's 1.2 mils for 20 years. It's generating a whole lot of money. And nobody really knows what the organization is that's going to be running it. It's like, oh, we're going to get all this money and we're going to get some regional mass transportation going. So it doesn't sound good on the face of it. And Smart was good enough to work with us after Smart dissolved, basically. We do get some benefits from them locally through NODA. So NODA serves most of the transportation needs for the people that have difficulty with transportation. So the bottom line is you'll see before you on the legal size paper, there's a resolution of opposition that the village could render. And tonight the council would like to go ahead and pass that resolution of opposition. It's on the long paper, Paul. Yeah, that one. No?
Oh, Village of Leonard, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we oppose the millage of 1.2 mils for 20 years for the RTA master.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, could we have a roll call then? Approval of the motion will mean that we are opposed to it.
President McDonald?
Yes,
So a yes vote is to oppose it.
is to oppose it, correct.
Trustee Sotheby? Yes. Trustee Almonte?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
You're bold.
Okay, thank you. The resolution was approved to oppose the millage request. Okay, moving on to old business, Elmwood project update. Last thing that you heard officially from me was that MDOT had changed their guidelines and that the construction engineering costs that were formerly covered by the MDOT funding are no longer allowed to be covered. So the local communities have to pay that out of pocket. In which case, we cannot afford to do the project as we had originally intended. And the question becomes whether we want to do the project in a scaled down manner. Most likely that means that we wouldn't be able to go right down to the base except in the bad areas. It'd be like doing 4th Street again. We'd have the mill come through, pick up the bad, several inches of the bad pavement, and then we do minimal drainage work and minimal curbing replacement. And one of the questions along with that would be, do we want to asphalt the driveways, the lead-ins to the driveways like we did on 4th Street? I mean, if we do, we got a plan for it, but that's more expense. I mean, there are ways to trim the budget a little bit.
I mean,
And that's among them. Now, and I went to the regional federal aid committee for Oakland County, who distributes the money that comes from the federal government to MDOT. So there were MDOT representatives there, representatives of there are 13 official voting members, communities, mostly from the southern end of Oakland County. And I made an appeal. SEMCOG said that they supported my request that we get $70,000 from the transportation fund to use for the Elmwood project to offset the transportation costs. The money was there, SEMCOG supported it, and a couple of northern communities supported it when it came to a vote, but the southern communities voted it down.
Yeah, imagine that.
So I've pretty much exhausted anywhere else I can get funding. If I had gotten that money, we would have been able to keep the project on track as it was, to go from Whitehead Street east and tear up the old road and put a crush in shape is what they call it. Now, if we continue, we're going to have to do the lesser job of just milling the top and putting a new asphalt face down on top of it.
It's not,
Without.
it won't last.
Well, to continue, the money, if we don't spend it in 2017, there is no promise that we'll get any money in the future, but if we do, it would be after 2020. So that would be basically 4 years before there'd be any opportunity to even consider another project like this. And honestly, I've had, real reservations about it. I spoke with the village auditor, Mike DeVries, today. In fact, we've had a couple conversations over the last couple weeks, and Judy has too. The bottom line is that we could afford to do, if we float a bond of no less than $150,000. He would recommend a $175,000 bond, but I'm trying to put the numbers together, and I just got these final figures today. We could do the project scaled back. We'll just do the milling and repair the parking areas here in front of the post office and Roland Hall on this side of the street. But we wouldn't be doing much else. And that would include, we would be paying that $70,000 plus or minus for the construction engineering. That's why the project has to go substantially smaller than what it was. So the only people that make out, well, basically, we're the only ones that don't make out. I mean, the engineers get their money and the road companies get their money, but
I seen on the paperwork there was 2 engineers. Why are we paying for 2 engineers? I don't have that with me, I forgot to bring it.
well, yeah, there's the senior engineer he's the point man that basically works with the village, and the other guy's the support engineer. He does most of the legwork, the calculations for square footage, materials, all that stuff, and comes up with the quote for the money. But he's not, so far, we haven't paid anything for what we've gotten from them. They're counting on making money when they authorize construction plans.
Yeah.
And then they actually do there's 2 phases of engineering. There's the design phase and then the construction phase. The design phase, we knew already we had to pay that up front. That's when you pay the engineers to make your plans, and that money cannot be paid. That's purely a village cost. Previously, when we reached the construction phase, then we could have used the construction money to pay the engineers, which would have left us more money for actual construction. And now that's not the case.
So none of East Elmwood would get done at all? We're just doing right downtown here?
No. Elmwood would get done, but it would be just like Forest Street. They'd run 2 lanes, east and west, with the shoulder. And downtown, we'd probably do an overlay of the parking areas. We couldn't take it up, and we might be able to get it milled, but, and that also is out of pocket for the village. MDOT, I talked to the representatives, MDOT said that they don't nitpick over the milling. If the milling cost is included in the milling phase, if they mill the parking areas, they're not going to nitpick over how much that costs. But they said as far as repaving, the village would be responsible for the material for the asphalt and labor to do that. We can't pay that out of the MDOT funds. So that was all figured in by the engineers when they gave us the amounts. So the bottom line is we would have to pay upwards of, I'm estimating $50,000 for the design engineering, and then we would have approximately $9,000 in costs for the bond.
9,000?
Yeah, it's $5,000 for bond counsel and $4,000 for the financial company to, put the bond together. And that's 2.5 times what we paid 4 years ago. I tried to find other companies and everybody, they're all the same. They said whether it's $1 million project or a $10 million project, they got to do the same work for the bond. It doesn't matter what the amount of the bond is. So anyway, kind of got hamstrung there. And then construction engineering, which I'm going to estimate high would be $70,000 for the project. So those monies would have to be paid by the village. Now, the $50,000, we have enough in our fund balance where we could pay the $50,000, and as long as we get the bond, we can pay the bond fees and the matching fees. Matching fees would be about $100,000 for the road project. We went from a $500,000 construction project, or actually we went from a $650,000 construction project down to a $500,000 construction project because of all the extra fees, or the inability to pay the construction fees out of the MDOT money. So we're looking at $130,000 in out-of-pocket expenses. With $70,000 basically coming out of the bond itself. I mean, what we would have used for match. So nothing's changed from what I reported last month, as far as we still expect that in 2017 and 2018 we'll get additional monies from MDOT. There's still the promise out there that we'll get additional money through 2021, but the legislature changes this year at election time, so how much can we count on it? Your guess is as good as mine. The question tonight is if we're going to do a bond, it's going to be a different bond, as I told you last month. The bond will be a capital improvement bond using the guaranteed by the village general fund. Because we've already got a bond that captures most of the Act 51 monies that we get, there's not enough balance left over to cover this bond, so we would have to pledge the good faith and credit of the village general fund. And that's why Judy and I were so urgently working with the auditor to get the numbers up to date to right now, so that we know how much money we have. Can we cover the design engineering? Can we cover the cost of, getting this project going? And then with this type of bond, we would have to advertise in the local paper and give the public an opportunity to question it. And if a petition is returned to us opposing it with enough signatures, and I don't remember how many off the top of my head it would take, then the village council would be stopped from issuing a bond. If you remember the other bond, because it was an Act 51 based bond, it was just a requirement of the village council to decide whether to do it or not. This way the public has a little more input on it, which is fine as far as I'm concerned. We are still financially, we're in a good position in a way, because we're not at our millage cap, we're not even close. I mean, the bond is going to look good to somebody. The higher it is, the better, the more people are interested in them. But whether we want to go to 175,000, I'd rather cut the project than maybe trim the project a little more than try and cover it all. But Mike DeVries said that it would be nice to have a little bit of money left over from the bond at the end of construction to cover any incidental costs. And remember, as you know, timing is everything. We don't get all of our property tax money at one time, or I guess we do now. We don't do it, yeah, we do it one time. But the Act 51 money comes in every 3 or 4 months, and it's 2 months? Only twice a year?
No, every 2 months it comes.
Oh, it comes in every 2 months, okay, my bad.
Oh, no, the Act 51 money, wait.
Yeah.
Act 51 money comes in every month.
Every month?
Yes.
Okay.
Every month.
But we're never quite sure how much it's gonna be. So the fund balance, you always have to have enough money that you can write checks to pay the bills.
Right.
So he's erring on the side of caution, saying, well, if you borrow more, yes, your payment will be higher, but you'll have some reserve. That is our call, whether we want to do that or not. And
I mean, higher taxes?
no.
Okay.
No, the plan is,
Lucky.
we passed, remember, we raised the millage a year ago for this reason, because that millage, $10,000 is what it brings in per year. And it's spread across all the properties, not just homes, not just residents, it's all the property owners. That covers that covers 2/3 of the payment for this bond. So we're pretty well set from that point of view.
But there is always that possibility that if something happens,
Right.
we may have to increase tax.
So something unforeseen will happen.
That's,
Yeah, well, I'll be dead by then.
Oh, okay, me too, then, probably, so.
No, and a case in point is just the worst case scenario is that the Oakland County Health Department comes in and says you got to have a sewer system for some reason. Well, then they don't pay for it. The village has to pay for it. Of course, that means you got to go to the Department of Agriculture for loans and all the right. You do all the right stuff, but that's the type of thing. I mean, I don't anticipate anything like that on the horizon. In regard to that one, Brandon Ortonville, they've been told for 25 years they have to have a new sanitary system, and they've yet to get one in. So
Well, they told us 7 or 8 years ago too that we needed one.
it was longer than that. Yeah. But yeah, they said, and they wanted us to fork money over to pay them. It must not be too bad if they're not going to do the testing themselves.
Yeah.
The legwork. They want us to pay them to do a study.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, is this job going to repair catch basins storm sewer catch basins and
It would
stuff?
repair what's existing.
Okay. You're not gonna put any new ones in, but existing, yes. Oh. Okay. But we're still not doing, it's not going down to hard bottom, it's just
It'll be just
cutting
like
the top.
Forest Street. Remember, we dug up a few areas on Forest Street,
Yeah.
took all the asphalt off, removed some of the base and replaced it with, better base layer.
Yeah.
In the really bad spots. So,
It'll start falling apart.
unfortunately, yeah, that's why I was so excited about doing the crush and shape, because that meant we'd get a whole new base, and we'd have the old asphalt back down as part of that new base. You take it up, fix the base, lay it back down, and it floats better, I guess you could say. So, I don't think I told anybody, but they hit wood when they did the soil borings on Elmwood to see. So there's still some corrugated road under there.
Oh, wow.
So, where they made the roads out of timber, they laid timbers down.
So that'll stay.
Pardon?
They're gonna go down that far to get that out?
No.
No.
That'll stay.
Not if we do
Right.
The tree conversion.
we're preserving this. Look at it any way you like.
So what are we paying per month for our other bond?
Well,
Forest Street bond.
we make a payment twice a year,
Twice a year?
and it's a total of about 15,000. It goes up and down a little
That's
bit.
for another,
You should have this, probably don't have it here, but it's a schedule, yeah. I gave them out.
How long is that?
4 years on that?
We started it in 2012, and so as of next year, yeah, we have 10 more years.
10 more years?
And that's where I was talking about last time. We would actually have a $30,000 payment for 6 or 7 years,
With the two running together.
with the two running together. By the time we actually start paying on it, which would be probably towards the end 2018. So, on the second one. So, between the extra money for Act 51 that we're scheduled to receive and the millage money, we're none the worse for wear there as far as a 15-year commitment. It's not going to be pleasant, and as Judy is well aware, and Mike DeVries hammered me with it, he said you guys are going to have a tight budget. But we've always had a tight budget. That's how we've been able to save the money, like for the Forest Street engineering and, things like that. We've still got a tractor payment for 4 more years, and that's $5,000 a year, but we figured it all in, and I said to him, tell me if we can't do it or if we can do it. And he said, I can't tell you can't do it because you can't. But do you really have to? But where are we going to get $500,000?
Right.
Again, and it won't be before 2020, and it may not be at all or after that. So, again, we're kind of looking at Forest Street all over again. We can invest. I think Judy told me that at one point, I wasn't on the village council, but we did a repair on Elmwood Street. I think it was $17,000.
Yeah.
We fixed 100 feet by 10 feet wide, something like that. I mean, I don't want to spend money piecemeal doing that.
It might not even have been 100 feet, but the patch they did, the last one we did down here is still holding. It's everything before it isn't.
So tonight, if we want to proceed, we have to schedule, to advertise that we're going to go for a bond and give the public an opportunity to have input on it at our next meeting. I'd like to do it right away. So next meeting, we can make a decision, find out hopefully if the public's opposed to doing it, or...
So will that be an election type thing where they would,
It's not an election.
how would they vote?
They would petition. Simple.
Okay, so they pass a petition,
Right.
If they don't want it, correct?
Right, if they don't want it.
they sign the petition if they don't want it.
And it has to meet the standards, I don't know, I cannot remember how many signatures. It's a Secretary of State sets the amount, based on the number of voters or number of residents, something like that. And, I mean, if the people don't want it, we can live with that, but we're all gonna have to live with that road.
Yeah.
So, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I guess. So tonight, if we could, if we want to proceed, then we should pass a motion to authorize the letting of a capital improvement bond for the purpose of reconstruction of Elmwood Street. And then I will get the ball rolling and keep everyone posted on what's going on.
So will this second bond be a bi-monthly or payback? Like
What is it, by
every
6 months?
every 6 months?
It's,
Just like the other one?
just like the other one.
Is it going to coincide at the same time?
No, we can structure the timing and all of that when we let the bond. So are there any other questions? Then a motion, or a motion would be appropriate to authorize the village president to do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there support?
Well, we gotta see if we can do it or not, that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if the public want to do it or not.
Yeah.
In the short to midterm, I don't see any problem, but we cannot project how much Act 51 money and what supplements are out there beyond, 2020, 2018. So, but we're in the same situation that every community is in. So,
Well, I don't think it hurts to take a look at it and see if people want to do it. I mean, we don't have to do it, even if we get the chance to do it, so.
my plan is to advertise it in the Leader. And we can put it on the website as well. So,
I'll support.
and Shar support it, thank you. Are there any questions?
So in taking this next step to vote on the public, voting on whether we're gonna do the project or not.
Well, yeah, we would decide at the next meeting to officially hire the bond counsel, hire the financial, and prepare the official,
By then we'll know what they think.
yes. Okay. All right, can we have a roll call vote then on approval of the motion?
Trustee Sotheby, yes. Trustee Almoranti?
Yes.
Trustee Hoffman?
Yes.
President McDonald?
Yes.
All yes.
Okay. All right, item number 2 under old business is the right-of-way ordinance. I just wanted to let the council know that I did get it to the village attorney, and that is also another topic that we will be discussing on Wednesday. So I will update you after that. As far as number 3, the road commission, I understand that they did accept a bid on June 3rd. I just haven't gotten a definite timing date for when they're gonna close.
Right, when I got the notification, it wasn't on there yet.
Okay. So I don't have a date yet for when they're gonna close Rochester Road, north of Elmwood.
And that'll be closed for the Strawberry Festival.
Right.
Which will have all traffic going east.
Right. There's gonna be special signage up for that day
Yeah.
when people go over Frick Road.
Basically stop traffic for a while for the parade. If anybody going north is gonna want
Can't
to
go
go.
north.
No, they're gonna have to go east or west.
They can't go east.
They're going no, they're not coming this way.
They can't come through town.
The road commission is gonna put special signage at Frick Road.
Oh, okay.
Directing all traffic.
Going over that way.
To go,
Okay.
right. they're
Frick
going
to Hagerman.
Hagerman to Leonard, Leonard to Secord, Secord to Boardman.
Oh, my God.
It's just unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
And Bays is closed at 4th Street.
You're actually gonna put something across there? 'Cause
That's the plan.
trust me, they'll be going down there.
That's the plan. I mean, there'll be a sign there, but you have to, unless you want us to close that end of it, period, and everybody has to come.
I don't care.
For the whole
Because
time
I-
or just for the festival? For the whole
For the
time?
whole time, I would think.
Oh, you don't want that.
I don't want them down my street, they already fly down it.
Well,
Are you talking festival or just?
Anytime.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, how are people supposed to get into town?
yeah.
Stay out.
Because
Okay, another nation.
if we close it, because they're gonna have a special sign at Frick Road saying that Strawberry Festival can go through.
Right.
Because if we don't, we're gonna have all this festival traffic going down Frick Road to Hagerman and then trying to get back here.
Yep.
So they're letting the Strawberry Festival people go through. They've made a sign up for that. But then once they get into town, they're gonna have to go, I mean, just for the day of the festival, they could go down Bays and park in that area. I mean, it's gonna be a pain
Come on,
because
30-some years we've been doing this, Cindy.
And 30-some years I've complained because the dust is outrageous usually. And
Well, we usually try to,
usually they'll.
if you let me
For
know,
Strawberry Festival.
Yeah.
if you let me
No,
know.
I'm just talking about Strawberry Festival. At the other times, I mean, close it. But for Strawberry Festival, I would like to have it open so they can get down. There's gonna have to be parking down there somewhere.
Well, hopefully they don't kill anybody.
On that note.
All your names.
I'm with
All
you.
right.
Yours too.
I know, I'm with you though.
Oh, okay. No, I like that.
No, I agree, but, I mean, I guess they can go down Division and then back around.
Yeah.
No, we'll just have to see what happens.
How are they going down Division over here?
Yeah. If it
Yeah,
says
they always
Strawberry
have.
Festival,
I mean,
keep straight.
that's, I mean, all of these.
Usually they cut through the parking lot of
They all
the
get
Cooper
used.
Standards down there.
Festival day. People are,
Or they come down Division, like you say, up next to the mill. Yeah.
well, give me something I can fix. I can make sure we get chlorided. And I can make
All
sure,
through the year? So if I say something to Donnie, because I didn't know this.
Well, no,
You're not gonna get it a,
we've scheduled two,
Oh, okay.
but up to two. But
We
we
didn't
can
get that
add.
last year, so
we
I'm
can
glad
add-
about that.
We can add one. Pardon?
We didn't get two last year.
Yeah, I don't think we did. I think
No, we
Don,
did not.
for whatever reason, we didn't get complaints or, I don't know.
So why complaining isn't good?
Well, complain when you need it. Don't just complain all the time.
I've been complaining when we need it.
Well, you're not, then
well,
complain to
we've
Don.
always done it right before the Strawberry Festival.
I know.
Yeah.
And I find that sad personally. We spruce it up just because we have a strawberry festival.
Well,
That's what it
a
is.
lot of it is because of all the traffic that's gonna be
I
going
know
down.
that, but we've got, have you not taken attention to the Pollyanna Trail people coming down?
There's a lot of people.
A lot of them are now coming
Yeah,
down.
they are.
I'm glad they're using it because I like it. But let's do something with the road. The dust just rolls. I'm having a hard enough time. Can't you hear me hacking and snorting and Good.
I'm far enough away, I guess.
Well, I can come up there and blow it on. What's this right-of-way ordinance? Was that a last month thing? What is that?
Yeah, the council is looking at, most communities, we own the right-of-ways, we own that. Now, you know, we have sidewalks, sometimes we have parking or whatever. We have no formal laws saying who can use it, what can it be used for, et cetera, et cetera. So that's basically the gist of it. Okay, moving on. I can't look at the clock and see what time it is, see how I'm doing, so
Looks like 4 days.
I'm gonna wing it here.
I know that's
The
wrong.
village did receive a donation from Home Depot Foundation for $2,000. The Home Depot in Lake Orion is going to be coming out in July before the festival to build picnic tables and some planters and do some landscaping around the mill. So we welcome that. And
That'd be nice.
I'm still looking for dirt. We think we have a donor that's going to donate the earth to fill in the excavation, but I'm trying to get that done before the end of the month, if I possibly can.
Let's fill in that hole there.
Yeah. We do have a work day scheduled for June 18th at the mill. Basically, it's going to be cleanup in that. I think I'm going to try and get a dumpster. We may not be able to fill it, but I'm sure local residents will have stuff to toss in there if we let them know about it.
Well, the stuff at the back of there, because I know at one time you said it was safe for people. When's it gonna be gone?
Well, that's what's going to happen is,
Oh, you're getting rid of it, not waiting for them.
yeah, the sheet metal roofing that's stacked
Yeah.
flat on the ground, that's, the village is keeping that. We're gonna put that
Oh, okay.
somewhere. But the rest of that debris and that, most of it's from the roof job.
Yeah.
That's all gonna be gone. There are some people that wanna pick through it, to see if there's anything in there, wood or whatever, old wood, but
It's probably Rochelle.
no, it wasn't, somebody else. Another village resident. And what, you know, unless the council objects, I always go down and make sure that I know what to do and what's going on, so, so nothing good gets taken away. Okay, I did receive a very nice thank you for the council from Carol Powell on the resolution for her retirement. I understand she was pretty affected by everybody. Everybody was, you know, so nice and congratulatory, so I wanted to relay that to the council. Okay, moving on to the trustee and committee reports. Summer Festival Committee. You got anything?
Everything's going good. Donations are coming in. Got grades out.
We confirmed the dumpster, so.
The dumpster is confirmed.
Yep,
Okay.
so we're good. And the roads dealt with, hopefully. Okay, Cable Commission. Anything going on, Shar?
I don't think there was a whole lot. No, we are working on, still trying to get our, I can't read my notes, our handbooks for employee handbooks, and some of the things that we feel are needed, and checking with the attorney to see if all those things are, you know, it's just trying to do the right thing, and what's too much and what's not enough, I guess.
For my part, I've talked with Mike DeVries and asked him to break out the PEG dollars that the village has in its possession. And once we get our audit finalized, I'm gonna ask the village council to authorize, we'll write a check. The charter franchise pays PEG, what they call a PEG fee. It's programming and education, something or other. And we've withheld it for 5 or 6 years, so it probably amounts to $6,000 plus or minus. And it can only be used for that purpose. So there's no sense our sitting on that once we know how much exactly is there. I know the Cable Commission would like to get it, so we'll do that in hopefully the near future. Okay, decorating committee.
Nothing new.
Okay.
In fact, we're losing a member. She's going to Germany for 2 years. The whole family.
Who's that?
Peggy
Oh,
McQueen.
I hadn't heard.
Yeah, that's,
She is.
yeah.
They're not selling?
No, they're staying. They got somebody gonna live in the house.
They're taking the dogs. They're just leaving the cat. I think somebody coming to move in to watch the cat.
Yeah.
Well, they had a cat. Might have been in my house. We got lots of cats.
They're around.
Okay, well, that's sad news. I guess. Are we going to?
What's that?
Get any decorating done?
As far as I know, I don't know anything about flags and stuff. I talked to Kay, and she was supposed to get back. We were supposed to have a meeting last week and canceled it because nobody was going to go to it. And she told me she would get back with me, and she hasn't, so.
I mean, the planter boxes are not planted.
No, she hasn't planted that. She talked about that.
Well, my wife and I usually do it, but we held off this year
Yeah.
because,
Well, you don't do all of them. That last year they did them on the four corners. as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, they did.
yeah, we did the
Yeah, I was
full
just
corner.
referring to that.
I know what you're referring to.
But I don't,
Planter box down here still?
They've all been moved to the
Not
annex.
south end.
Right, it's just up there on that
Right.
sign.
oh,
Okay, North Oakland Transportation Authority.
Planning Commission. Number 4.
Yeah, you really jumped ahead there.
Yeah.
No DPW, nothing.
Come on.
Wait a minute.
planning commission.
Number
Wait a minute. We
4.
were on decorating committee, weren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I've got a different, I ran a different list. So my number 4 is North Oakland. What's your number 4?
Don't run your,
Planning commission.
Okay, my apologies. Anything for planning, which is this Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I don't have anything. I haven't been doing anything with the
Neither have
master
I.
plan
Neither
because
have
I've just been too busy with the festival right now.
okay, so motion to,
We do have to have 4 meetings.
Right.
We've already had 1 or 2. I just looked it up.
yeah, we talked about
And we
that.
can have, we'll have 2 for sure, September, October, November, December.
Sounds good.
August, we can have one in August. July would not be good.
So we'll cancel this month's. Sounds good. And we don't have one scheduled for July, or do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
but it usually ends up being on the Thursday right before the festival, and we usually end up not having it.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Do we want to cancel it or keep, well, maybe we better keep it open.
If something
in case
comes up, we're
something
gonna
comes
have to have it.
Right. Okay, so is there a motion then to cancel the June 16th regular planning commission meeting?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Second it.
Paul Rainey, supported by Mr. Hoffman. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, what's number,
Pollyant Trail Manager Council.
meeting this Wednesday? Maybe I'll learn more about the equestrian event. I guess everybody, maybe you noticed that they sprayed the trail for wheat with killer.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, we
I wasn't crazy
You
either.
got pets and you got kids going down there. They're-
Yeah.
didn't have a choice. We
Carcinogen.
we advertised on the website and Facebook, but we're required to do it. DNR.
Well, you don't have to.
DNR said
DNR wants us to do what? Get rid of the weeds?
weeds and grass.
So there's products that you can use besides
Yeah, and you know, one of
Agent Orange.
the
Yeah.
products was chloride. They said
Chloride?
some communities dump chloride. I don't know if that's.
Vinegar is another one.
I wonder how much vinegar. How much
vinegar is cheap.
is it?
Yeah.
Heck, yes.
How much vinegar is it?
They have an industrial strength vinegar that they use in greenhouses and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
That'll, one day that stuff will be gone.
Really?
Yeah, you can pass that message along. They put these little signs up no date on when they spray. But when it's dry, how do I know when it's dry other than the grass is dead?
Well,
They don't take their signs back up.
yeah, it's expensive, and yeah, we weren't thrilled with the idea, but the problem is you all know how it's growing in, and the trails disappears in the grass, so we do have, officially, we have a request in to the DNR trail boss to tell us, what kind of conditions are minimum conditions, how far open do we have to be, etc. So, they did do it, they trimmed down in Orion. Orion has an arrangement with Rochester Hills. And Rochester Hills has one of those trimmers that's on the tractor and they drive down.
That'd be nice.
It does a really nice job.
Leave
but
the ground alone,
they
trim the
wouldn't-
sides.
Yeah, they wouldn't come, they won't come, because we're not a participating community with Rochester Hills, they couldn't come out and do Addison or Oxford. Addison and Oxford don't want to do it, don't want to join, or have a mutual aid thing or whatever, so. So
Mike,
yeah,
do you-
that's every year that's a topic of conversation.
Did you say there's a trail meeting tomorrow?
Wednesday,
Wednesday?
3 o'clock at Oxford Township.
Do we need to ask them permission to use the trail for the festival?
You mean we don't use it, we don't use the actual trail, we use.
No, we use the grass.
Yeah, I'll talk to the trail.
I mean, usually they say it's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe we should address it.
It's pretty casual, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Main Street.
Great. Phyllis, would you send me a note about that to talk to Pat Ball, the trail manager?
A text message or?
Yeah, text or something, just so I don't
Okay.
lose track. What was it, Paul?
Main Street.
Nothing new there, I don't think. I think we're all set.
Village Park.
Has anybody been there lately? You look.
Very
I
nice.
actually walked out because I was looking for my duck.
Oh, yeah. Well, the wildflower garden is planted.
Did you find them?
Yeah, she showed up. She's got a nest somewhere. Hopefully she won't get eaten alive.
The wildflower garden is in. The WHAM crew came out again this past weekend. They got that in. We're building kind of a fence along the back
I hope
property.
so.
Do you like it?
I haven't seen one.
It's instead of burning all the branches, we're stacking them.
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. I do like that, actually.
Yeah. So, yeah, the WHAM crew really did a nice
Yeah.
job. I went back and looked at it. I heard it was really nice. I thought, how nice could a bunch of sticks look? But yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. So, I hoped you liked. I didn't.
Yeah, I did.
I thought you'd like it, but I hoped you did.
I just don't want them coming up and bugging the horses.
Yeah. And finally,
Village Park. Oh, we did that. Community Development, Block Branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
you should have received the report.
Yeah.
And God willing, that's all we have tonight.
Noda.
We already talked about
We
it.
already talked about it, so.
Fired.
I know.
Probably wish you were.
Well, is there any other business to come before the council? If none, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Motion to adjourn.
In favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 8:04. Thank you so much for attending.